Hello, I'm Stuart Bloor, and can you have too much of a good thing? No, you can't. And definitely as far as fishing's concerned. Anyway, I've been here about half an hour and I'm just about to net my first perch of the session. It's only a small one, but as I often say, I'm not a blanker. There it is, beautiful. If you've been following my blogs recently, you'll know that I've done a lot of canal perch fishing and thoroughly enjoyed it, I must say. And I'm watching the rod while I talk. It's right down there, ready to strike should I need to. But it's time to move on for a number of reasons. First of all, the weather's changing. In the winter, I've been able to come in the middle of the day, which has been the most productive time, and catch fish at any time from first light right the way through to the end. But now, of course, as the days get much longer, it will become quite warm during the day and the fish won't be feeding as prolifically then. Secondly, once we hit Easter, the boat traffic on this particular canal increases dramatically. So it's not only the constant churning up of your swim, but it's the water movement from the lock. So daytime fishing is pretty much out of the question really from now until perhaps the autumn. And thirdly, which is more of a positive thing really, I've got other species on my mind. I've got perch on my brain. I've got carp, tench and bream beginning to rise to the top, beginning to filter and make their way to the top of my thoughts. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 3-4 months. Who knows? That's the great thing about fishing, isn't it? We don't have to plan. We can do whatever we want to. I was in a meeting yesterday up at the New Saints, the Welsh Premier League, and we were talking about about making a plan, a project that we've got to go with, so everything's laid out and planned. Fishing isn't like that. Just do whatever you want to do. It's all about enjoyment. Not the work isn't, of course, you know what I'm saying. Fishing isn't about planning and sticking to things. You do whatever takes your fancy. This is a surprise visit I'm making to the canal this afternoon. I'd actually got a meeting today. I live in South Staffordshire. I got a meeting in North Derbyshire, but I was travelling to Leicestershire first and then moving on with my friend, another piscatorial parson, the Reverend John Barrett from Leicester. Unfortunately, I gave myself plenty of time, but unfortunately I hit the world's biggest car park on the M6. It just wasn't going anywhere. I was stuck in traffic, and as the time went by I just couldn't make the meeting, so I was disappointed not to get there, but John was great, he understood. Anyway, I'm just making the most of it, out on the canal this afternoon. My bait's in the water, the temperature is up, and I'm looking at the thermometer now, it's up 1 whole degree from my last visit. So if I'm confident when it drops, I sure am confident when it rises. And while I'm waiting for the fish, walking along the canal today, the powers that be have come and taken everything right the way down. In fact, I've seen more growth on a skinhead. There's absolutely nothing left. All the flowers, the wildflowers that were coming through, they've all been taken down. These wildlife corridors, which is what they are, that exist either side of the walkway on the towpath, are an important part of our natural wildlife heritage, because they are havens for creatures like shrews, wildflowers which are in decline generally across the board. It's a great place for them to flourish, and I don't know why the powers that be find it in themselves to systematically come through and take everything down to bare bones. In addition, the stuff that they do stream, it all ends up on the canal. It falls to the bottom, it decomposes, takes oxygen out of the water, doesn't put anything into it at all, but it takes from it. So I don't want to appear to be moaning, because I'm not a whinger or a moaner, but I am stating a point of view as to the logic behind why all this is done. This is the wildlife, this is outdoors. If we want a nice lawn that looks manicured, that's fine, but out here, let it be. Anyway, while I'm still waiting for a fish, let me introduce my friend who's come fishing with me today. The raising water temperature plus my sky high confidence were negated by the fact that I've had a pike in the swim, and a very active one at that as well. It's been swirling and attacking fish all afternoon, so that explains really why I haven't had anything. However, I'm into the last hour and I'm hoping that the aforementioned predator has gone off somewhere else and the perch have moved in, and I'll get one on the bank in these remaining minutes of the session. I'm getting a few little plucks. They're not confident takes at all. Mind you, if you think about it, if you were in a restaurant and there was a man-eating bear charging round, I don't suppose you'd be focused on your food either. And that's exactly what's been happening in my swim with that pike. The fish are out there and they certainly want to eat. Of course, with that pike on the loose, they've got one eye on the pike, haven't they? And just one eye on the food. I need them to have both eyes on it. Well, I'm not a blanker because I've just caught a bream. And a small one at that. But they all count. I'm into a perch now. And it's not as big as some of the ones I've been catching from the canal lately. But under the circumstances of today, it's very welcome. Do that splash there? It's in the net. A nice chunky little perch, isn't it? And it's holding the dorsal up for the camera as well. I love it when the dorsal sticks up like that. Majestic creatures, aren't they? This is what you call a PS. It's pretty, I would say dark really, but from the camcorder you can see how the sun has long since set. And I'm just about to get my second perch of the afternoon. There it is. Just about to see, can't you, in this light? This is my third and final outing of the week, and I'm just getting my net ready to net a perch. There it is. Got a couple of boats through. I'm here for an afternoon session, just for a few hours. A couple of boats through, but none of that has disturbed my fishing, has it? And that's the end result, a perch ready to go back. If you're doing this sort of fishing that I'm doing, perch with a worm, then you definitely need a disgorger. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it's irresponsible to leave home without one. If you're a new angler, you're not really sure, maybe you can have a word with someone else on the bank, someone that takes you fishing if they have to use one. Once you've seen one being used, it really is the easiest thing in the world to do, and it doesn't hurt the fish at all. If you are unsure though, or the hook is particularly deep and there's a risk of maybe poking and prodding too much, then the best thing to do is just to cut the line off as close to the hook as you possibly can. It won't do any long-term damage to the fish, but messing about, poking and prodding, that can and that will. I'm into a nice fish here. Certainly putting up a little bit of resistance. Not much of a take, mind you. Just a few little taps on the rod tip, and it's a big perch. I thought it was. I really want to land this one. It's doing a little bit of run around, or giving me the run around, should I say. It's coming to the net. Oh, come on. Oh, it's my last perch session for a while and I really don't want to lose this. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. Yes. Another nice perch on. Don't know if it'll be as big as the other one. I was wondering if I'd get another fish. I've just had a couple of boats come through, and I am in the last half hour now, right up to dark. And this one, here it's splash. As long as I don't have an up pull, I don't care. Come on, it's lively. And there it is. My favourite species, the perch. The video now comes to an end. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm making the most of these last few moments before I pack away. If you have, why not share it? There are Facebook and Twitter links here on YouTube that you can share the video on, and I'd really appreciate that if you did. And as I've been saying so many times in my recent videos, if you want to connect with me, I am actually on Facebook myself. Check me out, send me a friend request, and I'll add you, no problem at all. Anyway, I'm looking forward to whatever next week brings. I don't know at the moment what I'm going to fish for. I've got quite a few things going around my mind, but one thing's for sure, I'll be on the bank, I'll make a video, and it'll be uploaded next Saturday. See you then.